Welcome back to Age of Engineering, and it's time to correct something. Wondering why that's missing? Well, you're about to find out. So, I brought this wonderful nuclear reactor with this wonderful 4 million EU storage down to medium voltage. Yeah, I know some of you may already know what I'm about to say. So there's the line heading all the way over here, and it headed into our base. And of course, I connected things up, and there was a bit of a brief bang, and my metal former disappeared. And yes, my thermal, no, not thermal centrifuge. What actually is that another macerator? Actually, no, that's fine because I moved the macerator back. Yeah, it was just my metal former, so I had to redo that. Because things weren't at low voltage, and low voltage, well, there's two ways of doing this. One is to elevate these machines so they can handle 120 EU per tick, which is what we definitely want to do, but that takes quite a bit of resources. If you have a look at the transformer upgrade, it's fairly expensive. It needs an MV transformer, which is 8 iron plates plus some copper, plus a circuit for each one, and we'll have to do each machine. So it increases the energy tier by 1. So if we just have a look at the MFE out here, yeah, it's going to output 512. This is fixed step down rather than any kind of switching. So we've got to, I hate falling into that. So we've got to bring it down again. And so the easiest way to do that for now is to just temporarily pop down here and put an LV transformer on there. And it's the wrong way around. There we go. So we want the low voltage side facing the base. And that will step this down from 128 to 32 EU per tick, which hopefully, and I do say hopefully, should be enough to actually get us where we need. So if we pop inside now, and if I if I get this wrong, there will be another very, very short explosion. But it shouldn't be a problem. Let's pop down here. I think it's just here. Yes, it is. Good. Let's get rid of those for a second. And I did mention in a previous episode where I had kept having to break and replace these cables. That, as far as I know, is an issue to do with the FTB chunk utility to load chunks. So if you're having that problem, just basically go with another chunk loader. Where did I want to go? Oh, yeah, there we go. Insulated copper cable. So bring it in here, bring it up, and then we should have power. Our storage isn't in the base anymore, the EU storage, and everything should be connected and powered up fully. It is. That is building. Of course, it's only 32 EU per tick, so this can take a little bit of time. However, this thing, doesn't actually use power that much once it's heated. We have been making more fuel rods. I've got 7 of them. Every so often, I just dump this out manually. I've got my uranium-proof suit of armor. It's working fine. We already got a stack back here, and of course, that's going to increase as we go. I can, of course, automate that. But just a brief warning to start off the episode: don't just cook up MV medium voltage. Do actually bring it down to low voltage, at least unless you want to go through and upgrade all the transformers. To see what you need to upgrade them to, just have a look at the machine. So let's say a macerator. Power tier 1. So we may want 1 or 2 of those transformer upgrades in that, depending on what power tier we want to go to. So I think it's just 1 to get to power tier 2, and then power tier 2 can handle it. So what are the what's the compressor and the block cutting machine? The compressor, are they all power tier 1? That certainly is. Block cutting. Yeah, and how about the thermal centrifuge? No, thermal centrifuge is already power tier 2, so that's not going to blow up. And the fluid solid? Fluid solid? That is. Okay, so these higher tier machines, these sort of more advanced machines, can probably handle it, but you know, you can't just connect them like that. You could put this, I guess, ahead of the LV transformer, but we're not going to do that. We're going to upgrade these with transformer upgrades at some point. Once I've got all those upgraded, then I'll just take that LV transformer out, and these, of course, will keep going. It shouldn't be a problem with this few machines. It's only if you actually have lots more machines that the problem should occur. I mean, if we have a look, that nuclear reactor is now back on again. It's just shut off. And it's going to go on and off like that without some more advanced circuitry. Because as soon as this drops away from full, this is going to turn on and off. But as you can see, everything in here is working just fine. We shouldn't have any problems other than these fuel rods eventually falling away and needing to be replaced. So, power sorted. And another quick thing I wanted to create is just one of these, sticky piston and 4 tin plates. I thought that was the recipe. Off by 1. There we go, pulling upgrade. I did just put an automatic thing in here so I could just feed lots and lots of ores through the macerator. However, the problem is with the ejector upgrade, it can also eject back into the hopper, which is weird. So let's just take the ejector upgrade out of there, and let's just put a pulling upgrade in here. And hopefully now, if I empty this out, and I need to put this back in manually to load it, but hopefully that should now work properly. The rest of the episode today, I want to get started into immersive engineering, and to do that, the first thing you do is craft a bucket, a lever, combine them in a crafting grid, and you end up with one of these, immersive engineering book. So in here, one of the first things to actually get that's actually fairly straightforward is a metal press. It requires a bunch of things, some steel scaffolding, redstone engineering block, piston, conveyor belt, and heavy engineering block. The real problem there is the heavy engineering block until the Ender Age. Because the heavy engineering block needs a few things. Lots of steel, of course, but it needs solarium. And solarium needs an alloy smelter to make gold and soul sand into solarium. Standard recipe, but yeah. So I went and got some soul sand. And it's stored in here somewhere. And there we are. Let's take a stack. I'm not going to produce a stack of it. And gold, we're running short. I think the system in there, let's see how much is in here. 1. Okay. Fair enough. I think now we've got a decent supply of RF. We can keep on speeding up that system. We're going to need immersive engineering to speed this out. See, I want to make this much, much faster. And although this system we've got now from that passive power is doing pretty well, it's not well enough. I mean, first of all, we can replace this first cable, but second of all, even with this is now finished doing seed oil. We've got 5 buckets, but it's filling with canola, which of course it can't process. Yeah, so the whole thing is backed up. We're going to need to put a crafter in place there to convert the canola into regular. Do I have a stone crafter anywhere just to free that up? Probably do. I'll go and create one and sort that out. It's relatively simple. Nothing I need to show on camera. So yes, immersive engineering. Right, so do we have any gold process? We do. Let's just get a few being cooked up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that should start. Is that not hooked up? Ah, no, it is working. Good. Actually, is that a new 3D effect they've got on there? Or did I not notice it? If I didn't notice it before, then cool. I don't think it did that in 1.7. Anyway, shouldn't get distracted. I'm going to need to go and craft this metal press, which needs this heavy engineering block, which means lots of steel. There's at least 4 steel for each of these. That's 8, 12 for 2 8 heavy engineering blocks. And how many of the books say we need? Just 1? Yeah. We're going to need leather for the conveyor belt. And that's the steel scaffolding, I think, is, I want to say 6 steel per one, so that's 12. What's the redstone engineering block? Redstone engineering. Oh, that's quite simple. All right, so let's go and craft a few of those up. And we'll see if we can put this metal press somewhere. I guess, well, the problem with immersive engineering is it takes up so much room. So I'm probably going to have to put it out here for now temporarily. And then, of course, we can sort out a permanent home, probably underground for where the diesel generators are or going to be. Let's just quickly have a look at diesel generators, because that's another thing for us to head towards. Diesel. Diesel. Clippy. I'm so angry. Okay, diesel generators. Better than volume, more volume. So we need to create biodiesel. Fair enough. But what does it actually take to make one of these? 6 steel scaffolding. Oh, that's a lot of steel. Yes. Fluid pipes, redstone engineering blocks, 13 heavy engineering blocks. Yeah. And each one of those was what, 12 steel? So that's a few stacks of steel. Generator block and radiator block. So not yet. I think we're going to need to set up automatic ore processing of some kind and just let it stack up. So that's something to actually do. But we can certainly get to the metal press now, which should replace this metal former. So let me go and craft those things. Alright, so those ingredients have now been made. I also want to make a steel plate and iron plate mold, the metal press mold to make plates. So let's head outside somewhere near our existing power. Probably over here should do for now. Maybe just here, something like that. So we want to put down our heavy engineering blocks first, I think. Let's just quickly check the recipe. Oh, it's still scaffolding, heavy engineering blocks on the top. Okay. So if I want to line up the center here, then I guess something like this. We want our redstone engineering block in the middle. Our piston facing downwards, if I remember rightly. That's not downwards. Actually, it's easier to go something like this. I always misremember placing these pistons correctly. It always faces me, really. I don't have a wrench on me. Let's just get rid of you for a second then, and there we go. I will solve the problem some way. Let's get rid of you. Okay, and now place our redstone engineering block. And then on top, finally, is the... I don't know what I've forgotten. I've forgotten my hammer. Let me go and get that in a second. There's the heavy engineering block, and then we can just replace the dirt. We don't need to put anything underneath this thing. I need the hammer. It's in one of the outside chests. Just thought I'd highlight it to save me looking. There we are. Let's go and see if this actually assembles. If I remember, you need to feed in the power from the top, so that's fine. Helps if I'm not holding torches. Oh, of course, now you rotate. Is that everything? Oh, it's the conveyor belts. Ha! Helps if I put those in. They are a nice recipe compared to the Project Ozone one. Oh, that's new. I like that as well. You can get the placement right. And I guess it's going this way. That's much, much better than the old way of doing it. Okay, do you now assemble? Yes. I have... I'm sure I've done this right. That looks right. Click the piston. Okay. Okay, so now it actually forms. Fine. So we just need to feed in some power cable. And that should be it. The power's at the top. Again, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there we go. And let's go over this way. Just about enough. And that should power it just fine. If I remember correctly, you can feed into this. It's a little bit difficult. You can either drop onto the belt, or you can just about get a chest like that. And hopefully this will actually feed stuff in. We do also need to put the plate in place, like that. And then we just need some ingots of some kind. So if I want to make, let's say 8 steel plates. Will you take? No, I may need a hopper. Yeah, we can do it with AE2's system, but that's okay. We don't have that yet, so I'm going to quickly get a hopper. I need something to take the place of an axe. Right, one hopper. The chest at the other end should work fine, I think. I've done that before. We just need some aluminium. And a crafting grid. And then we can just hopefully do this. Looks very odd. I don't like how it looks. But we'll actually now take this. Yep, it will. So this is much, much faster than IE. Obviously, as fast as this moves, it just stamps them. And we get this stuff back. So eventually we'd have this as part of an automated setup, but that's our first IE machine that we want going. Those diesel generators will have to wait. There's a couple of other things that we're going to need from Immersive Engineering. One is the refinery. And that's going to take a few things. Iron sheet metal. What is iron sheet metal? And fluid pipe. The rest that we can actually make. The refinery essentially combines, I think it's going to be ethanol and something else into biodiesel in our case. So to get the ethanol, we're going to need, I think, the industrial squeezer. Or the squeezer. That is, again, some things, but I think we can get those. Yeah, it looks like we can get those. Don't see anything odd in there. To get that going, we're going to need more of the cloches, of course, because we're going to use something like melons. The advantage of melons is you can process both the melon fruit and the melon seeds. I think it's actually seed oil you combine with ethanol. In either case, you can combine both of those into biodiesel through these other machines. So we are going to need to work on those, which means I'm going to have to go and make a lot more steel. So I've been crafting a lot of those up. And we just need to make the last few bits. I couldn't probably get the diesel generators in there today. There's going to need a lot more iron, but we can do some of the other infrastructure and get everything ready. In this case, we want to go and put these in place. 4 wooden barrels. Is that everything I need? Yes, that is everything I need. So there's a squeezer, a refinery, a fermenter, and we need to get those going first. Probably going to need 2 refineries at some point, but we'll start with 1 and, we'll see how it goes. I've dug a little hole for our new generator hole. This should do fine. So the refineries are 3x5. The squeezer and the fermenter are 3x3. So let's start at this end with... do we want the squeezer at this end? It probably doesn't actually matter which way around we actually do this. So let's just move these out of the way. Yep, there we go. So what is the recipe we want? Okay, so lots of scaffolding. Let's just move these out of the way. So it was something like that for the scaffolding. We wanted, is that light engineering block? I assume it is light engineering block. Yeah, so 2 on top of each other. Okay. It also wants some fluid pipe, and do they have them in specific orientations? It looks like they do, at least on that plan. Is that actually correct? 2 fluid pipe. Yeah, okay. Let's assume that it's like that then. That looks wrong, but we'll see very shortly whether it is or not. And then it's the second row. So we just got 4 barrels and the redstone engineering block. Okay, so we got the redstone engineering block on this corner. We want the 4 barrels on the back. That's treated with planks, not barrels. Okay. And then is that it? Just the piston and fences. Okay. So 3 steel fence and piston. Do I have a piston? I do. Okay. That should be it. And my engineer's hammer. There we go. one industrial squeezer. Didn't matter about the orientation of that. Okay, so let's see what it says about this. Items can be moved in the squeezer via the two hatches at the back that are, that are marked with blue dots. The hatch with the orange dot serves as an item output, and the block below it to output fluids. Okay, so everything's going to have to go back here. Okay, so blue dots, that's the input. And where's the output? There we are, I assume. So I'm going to have to go around again. There we go. So, yeah, that seems fine. Let's, no, I'm not going to hook it up to anything just yet. Let's have a look at the next recipe along. We want a refinery. So let's get that one going. Refinery. Bit larger recipe, but it should be fine. Let's just grab some of these fluid pipes. They're the middle. We need steel scaffolding. This is for another row because we're going to need 2 refineries at some point. So we just want to knock that one through there. And just come through here with the pipe. There we go. And then we just want, let's just actually get rid of the rest of these blocks now that we got the frame set out, including this torch just temporarily. Okay, and where's my scaffolding? It's like 2 at the back there and 2 on this side. Okay, and where's my book gone? Where's the rest? So that's the heavy engineering block, and then the light engineering block at the back. Looks like 2 heavy engineering at the front, 2 at the back. So, okay, 2 heavy, 2 light. Let's just get rid of that. Heavy's at the front. And to the back. What's the rest? The redstone engineering block. Let me stop this and... I just want to give me control over it. There we go. Okay, so we need those. That's fine. There's nothing else I need there. So let's just grab the redstone engineering block and the others. Where are you? Redstone engineering block and the iron sheet metal. And that's pretty much it, I think, for this one. And there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's it. There we go. 1 refinery. And where are the inputs for this one? So fluids are input through the 2 ports on either side of the block and output through the orange marked port at the front. Okay, so we're going to get the fluids at the front, and here we input the fluids into the 2 ports on either side. So that's going to be the input, nothing there to interfere with it, so that's good. And the same thing here. If these are both doing the same, oh, mind you, they need, yeah, we're going to have to flip the fluids around because this refinery and what it will eventually be here, there's 2 different liquids in either side of them, so we need to share a common liquid here. Just hopefully I don't forget this. Common liquid here, and then a different liquid here, and then a different liquid on the other side. So from this, we're going to have to route liquids probably to that side, and then all the way under, and in this side, and similarly for the other one. So, you know, we'll sort it out, but that's that one done. And what's the final one? Is this the squeezer, I think? Squeezer. That again, no, hang on. Is that the squeezer? Yes, we need the fermenter. Yeah, fermenter. Okay, let's play this. So it's much the same as the squeezer, it looks like, apart from just a couple of block changes. We've got the cauldron instead. So let's just get rid of these. Okay, and let's just double check that. The light engineering block times 2. And I want the fluid pipe. fluid pipe going in here. Light engineering block can go there and there. The redstone can go there. And then these last two, which should be, again, straightforward, just cauldrons. With, what is it on top? The sheet metal again? Yeah. Go? No. Go? Go! Okay. And again, this is probably a case where I need to go around the back of this thing. Let's go on. I was already in here just when I was excavating. There's an input. Let me just dig all the way along the back here, actually. It'll help in the future. Just for routing cables. There we go. So yeah, we have fermenter, we have a refinery, and we have a squeezer now. And there's going to be another refinery. I'm going to need to leave that alone because, well, I think I showed you the recipe earlier. If we have a look at the diesel. This is going to require a lot more stuff. Or is it? Yeah, 13 heavy engineering blocks. That's going to take me some time. I've not even looked at generator blocks and radiator blocks yet. Generator block is Electrum, which isn't terribly hard if that lets me make it the way I'm used to. If I can cast it, yeah, I can cast it, that's fine. And we need steel, that's also fine. Kinetic dynamo we already made, and I think I've saved somewhere. That's, you know, something we've made before. And the radiator block was the other one. Is that any worse or better? Copper and steel and water bucket. So there's nothing terribly complicated. It's just going to take a long time to get all that steel and iron. So I may well leave those for now. They're looking good. And I'm also going to need to go and find melons to ferment and to crush accordingly. We could do cherries for seed oil, which we'd have to breed, but that's not... yeah, I'm going to have a look for some melons first and we'll see what we can get started. And then, of course, I may as well move this first cloche from here down there once we have at least an initial set running. We don't have anything running just yet. But again, this is all bound up because I've not put a crafter in play. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have this episode. We're coming up to the half-an-hour mark, so I'm going to have to split this up between 2 episodes, even though I'd like to do it with 1, mainly because I've got to get this machine to just produce me more and more iron, please. I've got another 9 iron there. It's going to take a while. And once we have that self-fulfilling diesel generator set up down there, we'll be able to just create automatic, basically... reduce this to much lower timer here. So instead of 500, maybe down to 200 or 100 or something like that, and we'll see how well it does. But we need a lot more RF. In fact, let's just bring this down a little bit because I'm going to need it anyway. So let's bring it down to 300 and let's see what happens to our power. It probably will actually not work. It's building up. As long as this gets to the top before it uses the next one, we've got to wait for 1 cycle because there we go. So we're going to wait, and if this doesn't fill up by the time the next one hits, then we've got a problem. We need to increase it. So it's filling. I don't think it's going to actually make it. I think it's going to get hit. Ooh, will it make it? Oh, just short. So we can just increase this a little bit to maybe 350. And hopefully that will produce me enough iron between the episodes that I will have enough steel to finish off the diesel generators, and then we'll look at hooking everything up. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I know there's been a lot of crafting this episode, but I need to go and find melons and some other bits and pieces. And then we'll finish off probably our RF setup down there that will last us quite a long time, last us quite a few ages, I imagine. We've got a nuclear reactor starting. Beyond that, we're going to have to get to larger nuclear reactors, but we don't need them just yet. These machines are doing just fine. But do again remember to change to low voltage or put transformer upgrades in these. Okay, we'll see you next episode. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe.